Donald Trump has managed to surprise me yet again here. Listen to this cute trick that he's using on the campaign trail. So Huffington Post explains, Donald Trump's presidential campaign paid more than $1 million last month to companies controlled by the presumptive GOP presidential nominee. The figure represents payments for facilities, rental, catering, monthly rents, and utilities at more than a half dozen Trump-owned companies and properties. It includes nearly $350,000 that the Trump campaign paid a Trump-owned company, Tag Air, for the use of Trump's private jets and helicopters. The most striking expenditure is the new filings was $423,372 paid by the Trump campaign for rentals and catering at Trump's 126-room Palm Beach, Florida mansion, Mar-a-Lago, which Trump operates as a private club. Other Trump-owned recipients of campaign funds include Trump Restaurants, which raked in $125,080 in rent and utilities, Trump Tower Commercial, which charged $72,800 in rent and utilities in the building that houses Trump's campaign headquarters, the Trump National Golf Club in Jupiter, Florida, which collected $35,845 for facilities rental and catering, and the Trump International Golf Club in West Palm Beach, Florida, which billed the campaign for $29,715 for facilities, rentals, and catering. Okay, so he's doing the oldest trick in the book here. He's running for president. He is raising money, even though he's wrongly said multiple times, I'm funding my own campaign. I'm self-funding my campaign. But he takes the money, and then he turns around and pays it back to himself because he hosts all of his campaign events at his facilities. Oh, that's so gross. Now, understand it's technically not illegal, but it's ballsy as fuck. And to me, this is the perfect encapsulation of Donald Trump's entire life, certainly his entire career. He walks the line between what is illegal and what is legal. The things that he does, it's like they're almost all illegal in spirit, but not illegal according to the letter of the law. And this is why he's a con man, and this is why he's a scam artist. You know, for example, the Mitt Romney trick, and again, Trump has engaged in this as well. What you do is you swoop in, you buy companies that are struggling, you go to people, unscrupulous people in the banking industry, you say, I will save this company, you load the company up with debt, it doesn't work out, you file for bankruptcy, then you take the money and run out the back door. So you portray yourself as this person who's going to save struggling businesses. You go in there, you try for a year, it doesn't work out, you file for bankruptcy, and then you take all the money and you fuck over all your workers. Again, one of the oldest tricks in the book. So, and now he's doing a similar version of this while running for president. Now, some people might say, come on, Kyle, you're being a little too cynical, a little too skeptical here. He's just running for president and he wants to have some events. Why not have it his own places? And he's, siphoning money back into his pocket. Yeah, nothing sketchy there. So it wasn't necessarily designed from the beginning, and it wasn't like he purposefully is running so that he can get richer. Well, that's interesting you say that, because we have a quote here from Fortune magazine. In the year 2000, he gave an interview, and he said this, quote, "It's very possible that I could be the first presidential candidate to run and make money on it." Sweet Jesus, he played the country like a fiddle. He played the country like a fiddle. Now, as I was going through this article, I was reminded of a different article that we covered probably 2 or 3 months ago. And in that article, you had somebody who was a top campaign official, a campaign staffer with Trump. And she eventually left the campaign, and then she wrote this long piece about how, America, pump your brakes, he never expected to win. So she said, well, look, he got into this at the beginning because he wanted to raise, the Trump name and the Trump profile and get his name out there more. And then, you brand yourself as rich and successful, as he's always done. And how many times did he say that in the debates? And then when you portray yourself as such, you can attract more business, you can attract more clients, you can, it's something that overall will help your brand. I mean, there's so many people who have run for president for this exact reason. Many people have argued that Herman Cain, for example, he was the head of, I forget what the name of the pizza company is, but he was the head of this giant pizza company. And it can be a business move, a career move to run for president, become a little more famous, and then you get all these other connections. And lo and behold, look at Mike Huckabee, for example. He ran for president. Now, he was probably serious and trying to win because he was a governor. But then when he ran for president, gets his profile up there more, then lo and behold, boom, he nails a Fox News show. So this is a career move that many people make. It doesn't just happen on the right. It also happens on the left. People can run to raise their profile, get more famous, and then get more job opportunities. So the idea was this top official in the Trump campaign said that's exactly what he was trying to do. He didn't expect to win. He expected to stay in there, do whatever in the debates, get his name up there more, eventually drop out, spin it like, whatever, I would never even want her to win anyway, or you know how Trump can spin these things to his advantage in any imaginable way. And then that would end up helping with his business and with his career. And remember, Trump makes a lot of his money either through reality shows or through just selling his brand. He'll sell his brand to people who want to slap his name on something that they've done, because then it gives the aura, because he's marketed himself as successful, as, ooh, this high-class successful brand. So that was the idea. Somebody in the campaign said he didn't expect to win. When he was leading the polls, he was like, what the fuck is going on here? And then now, obviously, that mentality may have shifted. Or not. We covered how in swing states, he's spent a grand total of $0.00 on ads. That's literally unheard of. Swing states, that's like the number one place where you spend your campaign cash. He's bought no ads in swing states. That's unbelievable. So, maybe he still doesn't want to win, or maybe he does want to win, and the mentality shifted because he can smell the office from where he is, so now he wants to do it. But they say that from the beginning, that wasn't his goal. That wasn't his plan. He was going to ride it out and see how far he could get while lifting his brand. And then when I read stuff like this, I go, oh, shit, maybe that is true. When he says to a magazine, hey, maybe I'll be the first person to run and make money. Well, that's exactly what he's doing. Hey, give me money. I'm running for president. Oop, look at that. I just put it all back in my companies by only using my companies as I run for president. And remember, how many stories have we covered of Donald Trump with the other trick he does? This is a Trump 101 trick, and I was amazed at how often he did it. Anytime you hear Trump say, we're going to do this thing for charity, no, it's not for charity. It goes right into his pocket. Again, there's so many examples of this. We covered 2 or 3 of them just recently. How, even with the thing with the vets, oh my God, I'm going to raise money. Well, there were reporters who stayed on him for that. And they were like, we just called the veterans groups. They didn't get a dick. And then eventually Trump called a press conference, berated the journalist, said, how dare you, you're so dishonest, yada, yada. Come to find out, that day he did the press conference was the day he wrote the checks. So he didn't write the checks. He was hammered for not writing the checks. And then eventually he's like, fuck, I got to do it. And so then he does it that day, and then he goes out there and does a press conference. Oh, you liars, dishonest. No, you didn't do it until they made you do it because they put pressure on you. Because, again, another thing he would have on his website, raise money for the vets, people would put it in there. It wouldn't go to vets. It would go into his foundation. Biggest sleazy move ever. But he does this with everything. He tried to do this with the Bernie debate that he lied his way out of. Where he said, oh, no, yeah, totally, we'll run if we raise money for the vets. Everything is, I'm going to raise money, I'm going to give it to charity, this is for charity, this is for charity, this is for charity. And then they take it and they skim a lot off the top, and then they put it in their bank accounts. So the guy is just, I've said it before, I'll say it again, he's a mediocre con artist. He's a mediocre con artist, and he's gotten this far. And what's amazing is he continues to thrive in some ways, though now he's taken a giant hit in the polls recently. But I feel like if anybody else did this, it would be like a campaign-ending thing. Like, it would just be over. Could you imagine if Bernie Sanders, when he's running, he's like, yeah, so I'm running, I raise money, $27 at a time, and then he takes the money and he's like, well, I just set up this company and siphoned all the money into the company. Well, what's the big deal? There's no big deal. People be like, that's fucking crazy. You raised money and then gave it to yourself as you run for president. How are we supposed to know that you didn't want to do that all along, and this wasn't a scam from the beginning, and you didn't even necessarily want the office? How the fuck are we supposed to know that? If anybody else did this, everybody would be like, that's it. This is a dishonest prick. Trump does it, somehow everybody's like, that's just Trump being Trump. No, let's talk about it. Let's talk about how he's a fucking scam artist, because he is.